What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of the Squad Pod, your favorite weekly podcast, joining your favorite squad from around the globe, talking all things video games, what we've been playing, with a heavy emphasis on battle royales and multiplayer games. Of course, I'm your host for the week, Snowbike Mike, and joining me with my favorite squad members, the leader of the Boney Boys, Bone Jangles. Bone Jangles, what's good, my guy?
Not much, man. It's a beautiful day here in West Michigan. Can't wait to see what episode 2 holds for us today.
You know that, Bone Jangles. I can't wait to hear what games you've been playing, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The king of the arena, the undefeated one, my guy, Maddock Jr. Maddock Jr., how you doing today?
Good. It's a 90-degree day here for the, first time in a while.
All right. It's scorching hot. And yeah. When it gets hot, I think of one guy down in the great states. My man, the calm one, Washburn. What's up?
What's up, dude?
That's my guy. Okay, Washburn. I like that. Same consistent energy, always bringing it. Yes. I like that, Washburn. Now, the man who's looking too good, this handsome devil, joining us for the first time ever here on the Squad Pod, Tegato.
Join the squad today, you know what I'm saying?
Tegato, we're happy to have you. We're excited to talk some video games with you. Of course, rounding out our squad, it's a big squad this week. The man with the 2.5 KD average in the Warzone. We call him the faceless one. The man that will never reveal his beautiful, handsome face. Kevin Ace X. What's going on, Big Kev Dog?
Take 3, guys. This is the take 3 we are doing right now because we messed up 3 times.
I hate you, Kevin. I didn't mess up anything. But with that, that's your intro for the show. It's episode 2, and we're ready to join and talk about the Squad Pod. So let's kick it off this week with what we've been playing. I think Washburn and Bone Jangles will be kicking it off because a lot of us have been playing the same games, but these two boys have ventured off into some far, far away galaxy. Boys, why don't you tell me what you've been playing?
Go ahead, Washburn.
So Destiny had their big event, was it last week? And every time Destiny comes out with one of these like big events or announcements, I want to jump back in and see what's going on there. I've yet to beat Shadowkeep, so I wanted to jump back in and do that this week. I managed to do that, and now I'm sort of on the grind to get my power level up from 900 to 1,000. I'm very confused, so I'm going to need, Bone Jangles to come in and Sherpa me along the way there.
All right, Bone Jangles, how can you help Sherpa Washburn from level 900 to 1,000? Why is the numbers gone up so high as well? That's what I need to know. Why are we just shooting through the roof with all of these level numbers? It makes me, as somebody who's a bad Destiny player, not want to come back when I know that Bone Jangles over here is a level 1,250 and I'm level 60. I'm not coming back to that.
Yeah, so each season they add, I think it's like 50 levels to the power cap. So right now the soft cap is 1050. So Washburn, you're gonna be grinding until 1050, and to do that, you're gonna be want to be doing like weeklies. You're gonna be running a lot of the same strikes, a lot of Gambit, a lot of Crucible to do all those weeklies to get your power level up. But yeah, I dove in. It's called the Season of Arrivals. It's season 11, I believe. They're getting ready for the big expansion in the fall, so we're hoping to get to the soft cap 1050 by then. Also, like each season they introduce an artifact which you're leveling up, which also helps you raise your power level. It's like goes up by 1 every time you level it up, so that's another way to get your power level up. If you haven't done the raid yet, that's going to be a good way to get your power level up. I'm looking at the patch notes right now, seeing what they added. New Nightfall, different changes to the season pass, which is pretty much your typical battle pass. I think it's $10 and it goes to level 100. There's going to be gear on that battle pass that'll also help you get to 1050 if you want to get the battle pass. You don't have to though.
What I've been getting on the battle pass are these like upgrade modules where I can take gear that I like the look of and then upgrade it to a certain piece of gear that's a higher level. But you like dismantle a higher level piece of gear to upgrade a lower level piece of gear, and you use these things called upgrade modules, and that's kind of what I've been using from the battle pass.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. If there's a gun that I like, I just infuse it constantly.
Yeah, like Origin Story, this auto rifle I have called Origin Story. that was like in the base version of Destiny 2, and I've just stuck with it like all the way through. I've just been using these upgrade modules every time I get another kinetic weapon, I guess they're called now, to go ahead and upgrade that auto rifle.
Yeah, kinetic drops seem like the harder ones to get. Like your kinetic weapon to get a higher level one. It seems like that's like the more rare drop. I've been using symmetry. I think they introduced that either last season or the season before, but it's pretty much a scout rifle. You could change the ammo type to where it shoots electric slugs. So it's kind of like a grenade launcher. But when you shoot a slug, it kind of goes around the corner. So if somebody's trying to peek around the corner, it goes around. Pretty neat. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing though, is Destiny 2.
Yeah, my goal with Destiny is always I want to be ready for the next big thing. So like right now I'm trying to get to that 1050 so that when the next big thing does drop, I can jump right into it. And so right now that's just sort of my goal, is just to grind out from 900 to 1050.
So when are we squatting up for this? Are we all playing on Xbox, or what's going on?
I'm on Xbox. I have cross save between Xbox and PS4, so I can jump back and forth between those two, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
What about you, Bojangles?
Yeah, I run PC. I have it on everything though, so we can play wherever.
Mike,
Xbox, PlayStation,
just
PS4.
saying,
I have it on
dude.
Stadia. I have it on Stadia as well, but I've never played it on Stadia.
I'm saying, Mike, play it on Stadia. Let's all play on Stadia, and we can do it.
I don't know about that.
Stadia.
Oh, you know, Kevin, Destiny will always hold a special spot in my heart. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back after I whipped you and Tay Gatto up to max level that one time and burnt myself out in a matter of 3 days. I don't think I can ever go back, right, Tay?
I miss those days, man.
That was fun.
I have a question. That dungeon, is there the dungeon come out, or is that not it yet?
Yes, that's available now. The new dungeon they added. Yep.
And it's like when I look at it, well, the base like power level requirement is 1050, right? On that, because like when you look at it in the tower, it's like I'm not even close to being able to run that. So,
yes.
Okay, Maddock, you want to go back to this at all?
To go back to it, I would have had to play it in the first place. Is the real problem there?
Maddock, really?
You never played it?
Oh, I would have thought for sure you were a Destiny player. Okay.
Nah,
free gamer over here, dude. Free gamer.
It's downloaded on my PC. I just haven't.
All right, almost real gamer. Almost real gamer.
Wow.
Man.
You know what? Bone Jangles will Sherpa you as well. Okay. Don't be afraid to jump in then. You can squad up with him. Let's keep the conversation moving. Our newest member of the squad, of course, Tay Gatto, that handsome devil down there. He is going to be talking about a game he's been playing. So, Tay Gatto, why don't you take us away? Maybe, let's start to run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been playing so much NBA 2K lately. I honestly am addicted. I got on my team. I never have done that ever in any of these games before. Like the fantasy, or even like with Madden, you have the fantasy teams or whatever. I've never done any of that where you get the cards and the drops and all that kind of stuff. Well, I jumped in probably 2 weeks ago with some of the kids that I work with. We're talking all about 2K. They're like, "Oh, I love 2K. You get these new locker codes, all this other stuff." I'm like, "Okay, bro. Okay, I'll get it." Come in. This kid sends me a code of a pink diamond Kobe Bryant. All right. Level 96 above. So I'm like, sweet, got it. So I got that. Now I've been grinding and I've been playing every single day. Every single night I'm going in and playing different games, like running through all these things with my team, managing it with these contracts that you can get. They're like a consumable that you got to put onto each one of the cards in order to play a game. I'm in. I'm in, and I didn't even know I was gonna be in when I went in, but I'm in, and this has got my heart. So, man, it's the card game type of mentality where you get the cards in packs in this random rolls and stuff like that to get certain players, and then you have to basically do like a team management of your different cards by applying contracts to it. So I just got 2 infinite contracts. So did I put one on Kobe Bryant? Absolutely. Did I put one on this 95 Lamar Odom that I got? That's OP. Yes, I did. So I am able to play these all the time.
My boy, Tay Gatto plays that my team a lot, and he's super into like playing the market, where he's like putting bids out on these cards that he really wants. And his
Oh, yeah.
mission for like weeks has been to get a Larry Bird card, like a high level Larry Bird card.
Oh yeah.
And he'll like set his timer because he'll bid on it and then set his timer to go back and check the bid, like to
Oh,
check
that's
the
hardcore.
auction to go see like
Yep.
if he got outbid on this Larry Bird card, he still doesn't have it.
It's like there's this auction house system where people can go and put their cards out for sale, and then you bid on the cards in order to get a card from another person. I have not dive into that yet. I kind of want to, but I think if I did that, I would be way too far in, and I would not come back, and you wouldn't see me on Warzone for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, I'm in on NBA 2K. It was one thing that I never thought. I was usually a my career guy, just hop in and grind that out. But now with this my team, like I that's just a whole nother layer of this game that I never thought was there. So I'm loving that.
Love that take out. I'm a big 2K head. And back in 2K17, I think I was really big on my team. And then I kind of shifted gears as I pursued that route of shoutcasting into the more my player, my career, the pro-am, the park. So I kind of missed the my team, but then I also have flashbacks of FIFA Ultimate Team, Madden Ultimate Team, and my team out in NBA 2K, and all of the dollars that I spent just opening pack after pack after pack. I was addicted to it, Tagato. So I like that for sure. And definitely brings back the memories and the smiles hearing you talk about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not to the point where I'm dropping real money on it yet, but I am so close. I am so close.
I love that. Well, that will round out our first part of what we've been playing. Let's move in to our big 2 topics. Of course, each and every week here on the Squad Pod, we want to focus in on one new battle royale that maybe we've never played, maybe a couple of us have played. And this week we want to talk about Super Animal Royale. This game is free to play on Steam, was recommended to us. And as a squad, we got together and we jumped in. We played a couple of days now. I think we're up to about 6 to 8 hours of game time now on Super Animal Royale. We want to give you our impressions, our thoughts, and what we really had some fun with. So I guess I'll kick off the conversation. Super Animal Royale is my new jam. Okay, that game is an absolute blast. It's cute. It's fun. It's fast-paced. It's got great controller support, and I am sold. My heart has been stolen from Super Animal Royale, and I just want to keep playing it because it feels like a good twin-stick shooter, and it doesn't feel like I get throttled in the Warzone quite as much as in this game.
So no more Warzone for you, Mike? Is that it?
I'm a Super Animal Royale pro now, Kevin. I'm gonna go until next week when we try a new battle royale, and I say I'm another pro.
Whoa.
He's a pro
Fair.
in that 50-player server base.
Yeah.
There is a skill gap.
Top 50 in the world.
Which is, that's the crazy thing about it is we'll get in these servers and we'll go up against dudes that just run on us. And like last night we had that doggy McDogface or whatever we were playing.
Yeah.
And he was just pulling moves like with the sniper rifle that I've never seen. And it is crazy how much of a skill gap there actually is.
The devs are really good.
Mm-hmm.
The first night you guys played, I joined in and I was on the devs team, and they were just some of the maneuvers they were pulling off. I would never even dream to pull off yet, but yeah, they're pretty good.
I mean,
We definitely got to highlight a good best friend of ours, Risky Life, who's put in a ton of time and effort into that game, and he definitely showed us the way, gave us some hot tips and tricks that really elevated our gameplay. But still, like Washburn said, Dottie McDogface just destroyed me every single time inside that.
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's one of those games that just has like no business being as good as it is. You know what I mean? It's one of those like rare games where you go into it and there's no way I'm gonna enjoy this as much as I've actually enjoyed the game. It's full of customization options. There's a large skill gap from what I see because I'm trash. And people just run all over me. I get killed by bots all the time. But it's been a whole lot of fun, like going in these lobbies and playing against everybody that we know.
Yeah,
Kevin?
so I have a question for you guys about it.
Sure.
So when I saw it, I'm gonna be honest. When I heard that you guys were gonna play Super Animal Royale, checked out. I checked out. I'm like, this is some PC game that they got at the bottom of the barrel. All right. Then I started watching it. and hearing Mike laugh as much as he has laughed, like playing this game kind of makes me want to download it on the PC. So if there's somebody out there that doesn't know this or hasn't watched the stream, give like the 1 minute or 30-second pitch of what this is to somebody out there.
Does anybody want to roll the dice and give their sales pitch on this game? I think it's pretty easy. Maddock, Kevin?
Yeah, I can do it. So it's just a top-down twin stick type of shooter, and it's a regular style battle royale like Fortnite or PUBG, and you are a tiny animal character, and you are fighting all these people with guns, knives, and grenades. And the you got to stay out of the skunk gas, and that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I like that. Let's break it down, though, for a little bit here since we're having our deep dive discussion. Let's start off with the customization. Of course, the whole pitch of the game is you are cute animals battling each other in the battle zone. Of course, I'm running around as a pug. Kevin Ace was Portillo, the wiener dog. Maddock, what were you liking? What kind of cool customizations did you like?
I was just trying to level up my fox enough to get the shadow fox, but there was also a blue Sonic fox, so you looked like Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit, which was funny.
Okay, Washburn, did you see any cool customizations you liked?
I'm right now I'm about the duck, super duck, and I want to be a mallard. You know what I'm saying? And at the bottom of that tree, so like every animal you get like super dog, super bear, super deer, and every single one of those has a tree of about 10 to 15 different options that you can take. Like the bear option has, what is it, gingerbread bear, gummy bear, and they're all super dope. But right now I want to get that duck tree up and become the duckling, which is just the dopest little guy ever.
Kevin, what animal are you looking at? I know you played as the pug and the Portillo. What are you looking else at?
I want to see the other animals we haven't unlocked yet, because I know we have, like, if you look at the list, which is at that research lab tab, there's a bunch of stuff you can unlock. So I want to see what's out there besides the ones we've seen so far. But the only ones I've been looking at was the dogs, like the Shiba and Portillo, the wiener dog. That's pretty much it. But I want to see what else is out there. I want to explore more.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's so much. There's a
Bone
lot.
Jangle?
I'm working on the cat because there's a skeleton cat on the final.
Oh, nice! I haven't seen that.
That's what I'm trying to get.
I like that. I just started working on the deer area, and you can upgrade all the way to a moose. So I'll probably run around as a moose for a while. But yeah, like Washburn said, there's a lot down below that we haven't seen, from bats, hippos, sheep. There's so many cool animals in this. So it definitely makes for a cute, fun experience. And then on top of that customization, there's also apparel that you can wear. You can customize all of your guns and weapons with different skins and colors. So really a big time area over there on the customization side. Let's talk about this map for a second, though. This map is massive. It feels like it is small and quick games, but the map, it feels like, is very big, very diverse, very unique, and some fun areas to go into, which I really, really liked. I'm partial to dropping into the research lab and or the mountain that had the mouse caged up inside of a prison cell, which was pretty cute.
I love the names of the places that you drop to.
Yeah, they did good with the variety of different stuff across the map. Definitely.
All the animal puns.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
how
oh,
it
yeah.
goes. I love how it goes. When you're up north, it's snowy, and then it goes down into like grassland and then desert land. There's like different towns. It's a diverse map, and I think that's part of what makes it feel bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool insight. I guess I didn't think of like the hemispheres coming downwards as you talked about, but that's really cool. And what I also like is like it is fast to move with the dodge roll that they have. And like we've said, the map feels big, but it's not too big. But I like that they have quote unquote vehicles or modes of transportation in the game, from the hamster ball that you can get into that Kevin thinks that can run people over, but clearly it can't. Kevin, you can say it in a moment. And then the fighting emu. I absolutely love the emu on that one. So some pretty cool modes of transportation as well to get around the map.
Kevin was ready to run me over in a hamster ball and got outplayed, is what really happened there.
That hamster ball is a lie. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you can run him over, one hit kill him, maybe." And then once I died, they're like, "Oh no, it's with no armor." What? And I was like, you know what?
Oh.
You guys should have told me that at the beginning, because that hamster ball is useless then.
Now, does the hamster ball, like when you get shot up in the hamster ball, I see that it like cracks.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
Yeah.
as it cracks, does it get slower and harder to drive?
No.
I don't know.
It's-
It happens so fast.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think it
Yeah,
takes like
true.
3 bullets and it just breaks. So it doesn't take much to break it.
You don't
Yeah.
get damaged while you're inside of it, though. I don't think.
That's
No, you
I've
do
only
not.
driven it. I've only driven it like twice, and for me, it's really hard to drive because I'll just be hitting trees. And that's the thing about this map is there are like so many forests and bamboo forests and areas with lots of obstacles, and navigating that little hamster ball through those is for me is really tough.
Yeah, it's a little tight and certain. The trees, it just bounces off so hard that it becomes difficult to go through the trees. I'd rather just run.
Yeah, it surprisingly has a lot of depth when you start really looking back and thinking about it. And then when we start talking about the guns from a sniper rifle, a mini gun, and then as well the Desert Eagle is the cutest one out of all of them, of course, with the eagle beak on it. But man, oh man, I continue to think about all the fun that we had, the laughter like Tagato brought up of like those are fun, quick, easy matches where you can play solos, duos, or foursomes as the quads. And man, we were laughing. The server size is small.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of bots in there, but at the same time, like when we got all of our friends together, we were running 20 to 30 people in a server, just laughing, having fun with all of our friends, killing each other. It was a really great experience.
Yeah, I've had a ton of fun with it, and I'll continue to play it. I think that's sort of the biggest compliment you can give any battle royale right now is, are you going to continue to play it? Or are you going to play it once and put it down? You know, and I think this is one that I will go back to. So that's huge.
Yeah, it's a nice one for like just changing it up since
Mhm.
most are like third person or first person shooters. It's like you get that top down view and you're just running around twin stick shooting it. It's great.
I would love this on the Switch.
Yeah,
that's
that would be
awesome, bro.
That'd be
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, it's an absolute home run.
Or even
honestly.
other
Crossplay.
consoles or anything.
Crossplay between everything. Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be
Who
pretty cool.
knows?
Yeah,
it's
you'd
ear-
have-
it's just early access, isn't it?
Yeah, when you boot it up, it's really funny. I noticed this last night. It says super early access.
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
really?
bottom.
It does?
Yep.
Yeah, which I thought was really
Yeah, it
funny.
does.
Yeah, it says super early access.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
maybe when they get closer to final, maybe they'll announce it coming to something else, hopefully.
hmm
Did we know when
Switch
it came
would be
out
the one.
on early access? Because I know Risky Life has been playing it for a while. What does he have? 200 hours on it already?
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
tell us that he's
Yeah.
been playing it since December, I think.
Mm.
Okay.
Jeez. It's been out for a while. Damn, still super early access. All right then.
Hey, take your time with it. It's a good time, but yeah, like Bone Jangle said, if you put this on the Switch or any other console platform, this thing could have the chance to blow up because it is that much fun. It's easy to learn. It's quick. It's a good time. And really, if there's people out there that weren't into getting throttled in the Warzone, like we're going to talk about later tonight, I mean, this would be the one that I would point to and be like, why don't you grab that? Get the controller support, which has been great. It's free to play, and just have fun with this twin stick shooter battle royale with cute animals, a fun map, and quick game times. I mean, this is the perfect battle royale for a jumping off point, or like Maddox said, to say, hey, let's take a chill break here for an hour or two, or maybe a night, and let's just get away from it all. This is the perfect game for that.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Have we talked about stuff we don't like about the game?
Yeah, do you have some stuff you
have
don't like?
something?
I don't know if I really have that many things. I can't think of anything that I don't like, Kevin. So surprise me or bring me your insights, and maybe I'll feel something.
A hamster ball, dude. Get out of it, dude. Just leave it and throw it away. No, I'm joking. Besides that, I can't really tell if there's an advantage or disadvantage between keyboard and mouse and controller. Because we talked about this, I think, during your stream, Mike, where on keyboard and mouse, you can aim a bit further away with the mouse, but on controller, it's just set to one area of the circle. So I don't know if that really matters or not. I guess it doesn't. I don't know. So that's kind of confusing.
I'm with Kevin that it does give you an illusion of when you're aiming with the mouse, you can bring that crosshair in closer to your character, and it looks like it presents like Bloom in a way where it's a line, you know, and the further you aim out the crosshair, those lines get bigger and bigger apart. So I'm not sure if playing with the mouse gives you sort of an accuracy advantage because you're able to bring that crosshair in closer to your character, versus controller where you are just locked in to a certain distance.
It definitely is an interesting point to be brought up. We'll have to ask the devs next time we play, and maybe they join our game. But yeah, I would say it gives you the illusion because it feels like you can bring that mouse cursor above some, one of your opponents, and you feel like you're actually clicking on them, as opposed to being on the controller support where it really feels just like a twin stick shooter, right? You have the full 360 degrees. You're just kind of lining it up and hoping that you start hitting that guy. I don't know how big the disadvantage or advantage would be if that is true, but I will say it's a blast on that. I don't know. I think the controller support is really good for just entry level players that don't want to play on the mouse and keyboard, though.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great that you can just plug in an Xbox or PS4 controller and go in, and it has the buttons laid out for you right there, and you can switch any button that you want. Like, I know you guys have reload on your A button when you're playing on the Xbox controller.
Oh yeah.
I switched that. I have mine on my X button. So like to pick stuff up, I use the A button and I put reload on X because that's just, that's universal for me. Reload's supposed to be on X.
Oh, you can
Yeah, that
switch
makes
it?
more sense.
I didn't know you can switch it. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm learning something new every day,
There we go. Well, I guess we'll give our final impressions. We'll go around the horn right now for Super Animal Royale. So, Bone Jangles, what did you think of our first impressions of that for the week?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Charms your pants off. Love it.
Like
Very
that.
good.
Maddox Jr.?
I don't know what our game smasher pass is for this show, but it's definitely a smash, I would say.
All right. I like that. We'll have to come up with something fun, Battle Royale style, for that kind of stuff. Kevin A. what were your thoughts?
Game Smash. Are we still doing that? I don't know. It was fun. I liked it. And it's free, so might as well try it. So there's nothing bad that can happen, and it doesn't take too much space on your hard drive. So
No, how big is it? Like 900 megabytes or something like
900 or 800 megabytes. It wasn't that
Yeah,
huge.
it's quick.
So might as well. It's a play for sure. Just play it. It's fun. I like it a lot.
I like that. Washburn?
I'm with Kevin. I think if you have a computer, you should try this. It's not going to take a beefy computer to run. It is 2D top down. It's a small download. I think it's a potential home run for me. I think it's a game that, like, again, it has no business being as good as it is. Lots of customization, deeper than it presents itself to be. So I think it's definitely worth a shot.
I like that. Tagato, from the outside looking in, what were some of your thoughts?
I think when I watched you guys on stream, the thing that gets me all the time is the fun factor, right? Like, it's with games like this, it's the fun factor. And when I'm laughing my head off watching you guys play, and that means that I should probably get it and play it myself. So like, I think I'm definitely gonna download it on Steam and try it out and hop in with you guys, and to get away from the Warzone madness that we're gonna talk about in just a few minutes.
I like it. Well, I think all six of us here on the Squad Pod will definitely give that a must play for sure. I think I'll echo the sentiments of everybody here, but for me, this is a must play. This is a guaranteed home run, like Washburn said. When we start to go down week by week and play these different battle royales, this one will be up at the top of my list no matter what, for the fun factor, the ease of access, the depth, the customization of these cute animals. This is a must play. It's free on Steam, like Kevin said. Why would you not download it? Must play for me. So let's keep it moving. Let's talk about our biggest topic of the week. Of course, in episode 1 of the Squad Pod, we gave our predictions for the upcoming Season 4 update for Modern Warfare Warzone. And Maddox, it is now out. We have played about 4 days of Warzone Season 4. You have the big highlights from the patch notes. So why don't you run everybody down with just the highlights, and then we'll do our deep dive into it.
All right. Well, we found out last night this doesn't happen every game, but there are in-game events that jailbreaks, helicopters, and fire sales on the all the stuff that you can buy. And then most wanted contracts are actually back. They said they were back at one point, and I never saw them on the map in Season 3. They added a contraband contract, which we can go into a little bit later. There's 2 new weapons in the battle pass, submachine gun and assault rifle. And we got a little bit of Warzone 50-50 going on. And those are the main changes, I would say.
I like that, Maddox. Well, thank you for running us through that. Why don't we just start right up at the top of the list for Season 4? We have now added in-game events. Now, this was something we had no idea what this was really going to look like. Day one, it was popping off in the Warzone, from jailbreaks to the big helos coming in, and of course the fire sale. So we'll go around the table. What does everybody think about the new in-game events? Does it add another layer to it? Is it dumb and gimmicky? What does everybody think of these new in-game events?
Like, we thought it happened every game. What it seemed like, because what was it? The first 2 nights, we kept getting them every game, like no matter what happened. And then, was it last night? What day was that? Last night? Was that like
last night?
no? But like, is that day 4 of the new season?
Yeah, about day 4, yeah.
Day 4, just almost nothing. We had like 1 or 2 here and there, but man, what happened? Did they like fix that or something? Or like, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about it.
Now that you say that, Kevin, I noticed I was playing earlier today on random squads, and I haven't gotten any of those events today.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they introduced them in the season a lot more frequently at the top, so people could get used to what they are and how they work, and then they scaled them back in like a second day patch. I don't know, but yeah, you guys are right. We were running into them a whole lot on that first day, and last night we got like 2 or 3.
Apex does that thing where if they add a new gun and it's a crate weapon, they'll just drop crates at the very beginning of the map, just so that people get a chance to try it. So maybe they were doing something like that. I don't really know.
Okay. Yeah, got a little streaky there after 4 days of play, but really that first day of play, we saw them every single time, which was really cool. I mean, for me, I love the fire sale. I think everybody can agree with that, right? That brings a mid-game to late game kind of like, we got to move now instead of kind of camping the outside of the zone or getting comfortable with where you're at for most teams. I think that brings of like a level of anxiety of like fire sale for 1 minute, everybody get in a car or start running. And as we've seen on stream and all through our gameplay, you're going to collide most likely with somebody, which is the best part about it.
And you see, like, every time there's a fire sale, it's UAV in the air, UAV in the air, UAV in the air. There's like 50 UAVs going off because the whole map is just getting that triple UAV. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It says it's about 80% of a discount. We've noticed every single time self-revive is free, which is a must grab, of course, in the Warzone. But yeah, the coolest part is like you show up, we're grabbing an ammunitions box, we're grabbing an armor box, we're grabbing gas masks. Everybody's popping UAVs, like Washburn says. And it's this fun dynamic of like, now we have to move. We have to get to this fire sale. But then at the end of the game, it affects the late game of like, now there's a team that's just kitted up. They got UAVs. They got, missile drops. They got the precision airstrikes. And it's about to go down, it feels like, in the end game with these fire sales.
Yeah, I would say fire sale for me is probably the best one out of the ones that we saw. Because it does add a new dimension to the buy station stuff, and yeah, it's able to get those self revives just like you said, and all the things that we need. So I would say that's probably my favorite of the 3. But yeah, fire sale is for sure.
I'd totally agree with you on that. It's my favorite one easily.
Maddock, what are your thoughts on the fire sale?
I think fire sale is the best one. I think helicopters is probably the worst one.
Yeah, let's talk about the helicopters. Tell me what you think about that.
I feel like I might have gotten into like 1 or 2 games where it was the event, and it's just such a pain to try and shoot them down successfully and then get to the spot and grab all the stuff. Once you do open it, there is a ton of loot.
Ton of stuff.
Which is really dope. But I think overall, I would say it'd be better if the in-game events happened every game, just for like, it feels like it adds a little bit more variety to me.
I like that.
Than are we getting an event this game or not?
Yeah, it was interesting to start the season of like every single game we knew was a guaranteed event to now 4 days later, it was like, did we have an event? Is there an event? What's happening, But to stick on the helos for a moment, I would agree that the helos might be the worst out of the 3 for me, but I also do like them because you get to see everybody. You almost start to figure out map positioning, right? Because if Maddock and his team start shooting from a different angle and me and Kevin are shooting from one angle, now I know you're over there, or I know nobody else is shooting at it. The helos don't take too much to go down. It definitely is a waste of ammo, like Maddox said, right? For us to turn up with our assault rifles, or Kevin to waste 2 missiles and hope to tear this thing down and then go chase after it. But the reward is pretty much worth the risk when you can get oodles of cash, you get a bunch of armor plates, you get a bunch of ammo boxes. There's a lot of goodies inside of them. But I think, especially how the helos look too. The helos look so weird. They don't really look that good in the Warzone itself. They kind of look choppy to me and don't look that nice.
What do you mean? What do you mean they look choppy? I think they look fine. I just see them when I see them. They look big, but
I think they just look like they're maybe not drawn in all the way. They're still pixelated at some times. They move awkwardly. They feel just kind of like they clearly look out of place in the Warzone. Like, I think if you jumped into the Warzone like we have and played so many hours, and then you start all of a sudden seeing these helicopters and you look up, they just look awkwardly out of place. They're massive. They move in weird rotations. They don't look quite right to me, as opposed to the other helicopter. When you see that one moving and the size of it and the dimensions in the air, they look totally different. These look almost too massive.
I don't know. They seem fine to me. I don't know. What does everyone else think?
I have not yet completed one of the airdrops yet, so
Me
I'm not
neither.
really sure what you get from that at all.
I'm with Bone Jangles. I haven't shot one down, so I can't. I don't have a lot to say on them. I've seen them. I do notice they move kind of weird, but I haven't paid much of any attention to them.
Okay.
Yeah, when they happen, I'm not really. I kind of use them more as distraction to try to figure out where the other team is, to try to pick that team off more so than use them and try to shoot it down. But yeah, I think more so it's a waste of bullets or a waste of ammo. But if you're getting it, I don't know what's inside. So if anybody knows like what really is inside that would make that worth it. Like, are you getting guns? And like, when does this happen? Is it mid game? Like after we've already gotten both our loadout drops? Like, it's more so in mid game.
After that first loadout drop.
It says the loot in the patch notes, if y'all want me to read that off.
Yeah, read them off. I mean, me and Kevin, I'm sure Maddox has seen them. There's a lot of loot in this thing.
Yeah, it's 3 UAVs, 2 armor boxes and munitions boxes, a gas mask. We lost somebody.
That's why I keep going.
A grenade launcher, tons of cash at a minimum. That's what it says. So 3 UAVs, 2 armor boxes and munitions boxes, gas mask, grenade launcher, and tons of cash at a minimum.
Yeah, it seems like
that's cool.
Every time the 2 times I've opened them up, it's always those things. So I think it's. I don't know. Do you guys think it's worth it to grab them? I kind of do think it's worth it.
That's a lot.
To grab all that. That's a lot of money. Saves you a lot of money as well.
Yeah,
seems like
those
it would
3
be worth it.
UAVs right away too. Get that super UAV. I think it's worth
I like them. It lands so awkwardly, like so far away from you, that you really gotta huff it to get over to it. Like, and also, like we've talked about, right? These in-game events are meant for one purpose: to change up the play style, to get you moving a little bit more from that mid to late game. And I think when you kill that helicopter and it goes down, you have to make a judgment call with your team, because other teams are going to know, it's dropped. They know where it is on the map. Now we're all going to collide. Kevin, myself, Maddox have done it before, where we've either gotten it successfully with no issues, or now it's 3 teams about to have a shoot off here. And I think that's the goal for Activision, right? Is to let's get this gameplay a little bit faster. Let's get you colliding with people instead of hiding off in the bushes over there.
I mean, that makes.
Go for it.
I mean that makes sense. I think that's another way to get it, to make it quicker and to make more action happen. Because I get that all the time too in Warzone, where there's people that are all towards the circle, are on the edge of the circle, and slow creep it the whole entire time. I mean, then that's a normal strategy in BR, but like, yeah, I think, I don't know. They're not my biggest fan, but I think that for sure, that when you read off the loot, like, I'm like, maybe I want to, grab an RPG and shoot one of these things down.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward. Yeah, and like, I think that's what we'll see in most of these events that we talk about is these things that they've introduced to the game. They're all just super high risk and super high reward.
Let's talk about one that is kind of not that, but it's still kind of fun, is the Jailbreak, the final of the in-game events that we've seen So we're not quite sure. I mean, I know that we haven't fully tested it to its full capabilities, but the idea of the jailbreak is anybody that is dead and or in the gulag will come back automatically without having to fight in the gulag, or will just come back without having to be revived and brought back in. We've seen this mechanic used. It doesn't seem to have a huge shift in our gameplay from what I noticed, as opposed to, let's say, the fire sales that gets you moving or shooting down a helicopter showing your area. Now it's just people dropping in. What do you think about this one? Is this good, bad, ugly? What does everybody feel about the jailbreak?
It's all right. I mean, there's nothing too crazy about it. I don't think they should take it out or add to it because yeah, we've seen like some. We don't see squads come back because we haven't tested that out. Like you said, we haven't tested out the whole like if a whole squad dies, do they all come back when this happens? If they're just spectating someone, so we don't know if that really happens. But doesn't seems like it affects too much of the gameplay because it seems like not a lot of people have lost that many squad members in the game. So it's all right in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit more situational. So if half of our team was already dead, it would be convenient. But I don't think that's really happened to us yet. And then I was playing a solo game, and I think I got a jailbreak, and 5 people might have come back because I think everyone, if it's solos, just quits out after they're dead.
Yeah, that's kind of the catch we talked about, right? Of like, I posed the question to all of you, and we kind of agree is like, if we die as a full squad, there's a very slim chance that we're actually going to sit there and spectate somebody. And I think that goes for the general mass audience as well. It's like the moment you and your squad die, guess what you're doing? You're hitting start, we're backing out, we're going to the next lobby. So we can't honestly say that we've tested, hey, as a squad, we all 4 come back if we were just spectating squad 2 over there. So we don't know what that looks like. From what we've seen, it doesn't look like the squad numbers counting up, right? We only see people returning. So we've led to that conclusion of like, do you have to have one person still alive to get everybody back? Or can a whole squad from spectate mode really come back? And does this change the battlefield? Sure, it brings on 14 people back into the Warzone. Is that big of a difference maker to have change up the meta or change up the gameplay for us?
Yeah, personally, I actually like it for 2 reasons. 1, I spend most of my time in the gulag, and 2, it has a potential to save Kevin, our carry, $4,500 to revive me. So those are my 2 reasons to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, Bone Jangles.
I agree. I think it's a fun little wrinkle to throw in the game. I don't see anything wrong with it. One does pop. The only time I've counted was a couple nights ago. There were like 35 players in the game, and then one popped, and it went up to like 48, and it was a pretty small circle. So I think that's a fun little wrinkle that just adds some sort of hectic, event that happens late in the game.
I like that. And the biggest one for all of us, it saves our carry, the one, the only, the 2.5 KD average Kevin 8X from running around and buying us back, which, he does a lot of. So we got to give him some love on that. But I will say, if we're going to rank them on my personal rankings, and we'll go around the spot for the in-game events, I would go fire sale, jailbreak, then the helicopters for me. Maddock, what's your rankings on these in-game events?
I would agree with you on that one. I don't see any reason to mix that up.
Okay. Bone Jangles?
That's a good one. I think I'll also go fire sale, jailbreak, and then helicopters.
Okay. Tegano?
But yeah, I am on board with you guys. Like jailbreak is that middle tier. It doesn't really change much for me, but the fire sale is the huge one that I'm like a big fan of.
Washburn?
Yeah, I got to agree with that. I think fire sale is that sort of high risk, high reward thing that we all want. And I'm sure we'll talk about the contracts in a second too.
Yep.
But yeah, fire sale's great. Jailbreak is a fun little wrinkle, and the choppers, I could take them or leave them.
Kevin, change it up, Kevin. What you got? I know you're gonna say something weird.
Yeah, babies. Oh, I'm gonna follow Michael. Look at me, fire sale, this and that. You know what? Chopper number 1, dude. Choppers all the way, dude. Screw fire sale. Get out of it. No, I'm joking. I would do fire sale first, and tie the chopper and the prison break. Because at least the chopper you can get stuff from. It's pretty much like it's like a small fire sale in a way, because you do get a lot of stuff from that. So, and you get a lot of money from it too. So I like that. And Prison Break, yeah, I can take it or leave it. I mean, nothing really happens with that one.
Kevin, I
Technically,
thought Jailbreak would be your number one. That way you get more people to kill.
well, you have Fire Cell, which you get free revives anyway, so
Yeah, that's true.
it's like technically the same thing in a way. But yeah, I put those two. They're all the same. No, I put them all the same way. None of them is better than the other. It all feels the same way to me.
I don't like that. A little new wrinkle added with these in-game events. Now we also have 2 new contracts in the Warzone. So I'll kick it over to Maddock. What's up, Kevin?
Before we go, I want to for these events.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
sometimes we don't know when it happens or which one happens. Would you guys think it would be better if we got a hint somewhere in the map to see like what's coming up? Like if you look at the buy station, I don't know, like you see some scribbles on it. You see, oh, maybe that's a fire cell. I think fire cell is coming up on this game, and then
Or like you answer the phone.
yeah, something like that, or like you see like I don't know a helicopter off in the distance in the mountains, and you're like, oh, the chopper's gonna come soon, so because there's that chopper up in the mountains, or
I
in
think that would be dope. Yeah.
something like that, just so we know, like
A visual cue.
yeah, it doesn't really have to happen like that, like visible, like something like you have the phones, like what Maddox said, something like the phones we have to do to make it to make sure you know what's coming up. So I feel like
Okay.
I really want to know when the prison break happened. That's all, because I want to test that out, and I want to know like what that visual cue can be for that one too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that. It's just my idea right now.
Maybe a
think
bunch of
it's a good
sirens
idea.
start going off in the prison.
Yeah,
when there's a
something happens
jailbreak.
at
Yeah,
the prison.
different
Oh,
light in the
there you go.
prison. Yeah, maybe
Mm,
something like that. Something like that.
yeah,
Something crazy.
yeah. I think a visual cue or something would be fun. Would be cool to add. I'm trying to think on the back end how hard that would be for Infinity Ward to put something in like that. I mean, they're already dropping 35 gigabyte updates for this thing. So I mean, what's to add a little
84.
bit
Or
or 84? Yeah,
so for some
exactly.
people.
What is it to add a little mark on the on the buy station that says a fire sale's gonna happen? Like, I'm for it.
All right, that's a good idea, Kevin. Not a bad idea right there. Let's switch on over to 2 new contracts being added into the Warzone. Maddock, why don't you run us through? Of course, we've seen one contract before, but now we have a new one as well. So why don't you run us through the 2?
All right, so most wanted contracts are back for real this time. They took out all the other contracts and just had most wanted contracts, and that made people a little upset on them big Twitch streamers like Snowbike Mike got real upset, was raging on Twitter. They're back now, and they're more scattered throughout with the rest of the contracts that are usually there: the recon, the bounty, and the scavenger. And I think it's like a little risky. We did it twice in one game and ended up just sitting on the roof of a building for the entire time, which that's kind of whatever, I guess. I think it just leads to a little bit more camping, but it does put people on the map so you can kind of see them going around. They got their little red crown on. And then the second contract is the contraband contract. You take a briefcase after you've completed a different contract to a helicopter, and if you do that, you get paid and you get a blueprint for a gun, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that one's really cool. The contraband one is fun and exciting. I'd like to see a little bit more blueprints in there. I think like Kevin will bring up here. I think we've seen the same one at least 3 times now out of the 5 that we've done, so it's kind of interesting on that note. On the flip side for me, tell me.
I think they might have mentioned that there was like a certain amount of days that one contract would be there, so you wouldn't like miss out on one.
That's
And
good
then
to
it
know.
will, like,
So
switch.
then we don't have to worry. Okay.
Might be weekly. I'm not really sure.
And then on the flip side for me, the most wanted one, like you said, Maddock, it's definitely a weird give and take, right? Because the moment you grab that, I would assume that most people in the war zone would be like, okay, now it's time to hole up and hide, right? Which we've done before. We've also run around a little bit with it, but it does pay out pretty big, right? The first one, I think you get $3,000+. I know for sure the second one we did was $5,600. So it's like one of those that's 3 minutes now of like, how much sitting around are we going to do? Do you grab it in the early game? The positive here, of course, to help Kevin our carry is in the late game, if Kevin grabs it, if he waits for 3 minutes, we're all going to respawn back. So that's a huge advantage to help us out, get us back in the war zone. But, you're kind of right there, Matt. Like, I haven't seen, I think honestly in the 4 days, I can count probably 2 to 3 teams at most that were actually running around with the most wanted on while still engaging. Most people are just going to find a building. They're going to wait for you to come, and they're most likely going to get the jump on you with the ambush. So it's a little bit of a camping move, but pays out well, and I like that free respawn.
Free respawn's really nice. It's really nice. But I think, what'd you say, Matta? They took out when they first came on, they took up all the other contracts to put on the most wanted.
Yeah, it was the only contract on the map for like 24 hours at least.
Was it like that? I thought didn't they just take
It was
out
a
the
season ago, I
bounties?
think.
I thought
And
they took out just the bounties.
Yeah,
is
and
what
then
we saw.
they replaced the bounties
Oh,
with
so
the
there
most
was.
wanted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was. But
Mhm.
the big Twitch streamers were very angry about that because then they didn't know what to do during the mid game to chase people down.
Gosh, this Twitch streamers. Whoa, look at me!
That's how
I'm
they
trying to
get,
the kills.
that's how they
Look
get
at
a lot of
me,
the kills is getting those
aim
bounties,
button.
yeah.
Aimbotting. Look at me! I'm that guy who's aimbotting. What's his name again? Who's getting accused? And we won't bring it up this time.
Whoa.
No, that was crazy though. That aimbotting that we saw that one night.
Yeah, but
We did, yeah. We got aimbotted.
Oh, really?
yeah, we
Yeah, a
did.
couple nights ago, yeah.
But the most wanted. It does feel like it takes a long time to complete it. I don't know why. Just because
3 minutes is a long time overall in the game, really.
How long is the bounties? Is that 30 minutes as well? Yeah,
For you to like, it must be.
So I
I
wonder.
don't
I don't know.
I can't recall on the bounties. I know the most wanted is 3 minutes.
Are they all 3 minutes when you think about it? Like, what's the recon?
Mm,
I feel like we got a recon.
Recon might be
like,
longer.
Yeah, I think recon's gonna be longer, dude. I
Yeah.
feel like we got a recon the other night that was easily over 4 minutes.
'Cause I feel like we can. I don't know, because yeah, the quick ones we can do is recons and scavengers. I think that's why we think bounties and like, what is it? The most wanted. No, yeah, but bounties and most wanted usually take a while because we have to go look for them or just sit around. But I think most wanted is pretty good. It's pretty good when you're alone. If you need to buy someone back.
Yeah.
And then the
It's
contraband.
that risk to reward.
Yeah. And then the contraband. Man, I don't know. I can take it or leave it, dude. It's all right.
I think it's a good way to make a lot of extra money.
Yeah.
I don't think you get challenged that hard when you're running for it.
I like
I don't
the
think I've done a
contraband.
contraband one yet either. A contraband contract. I don't think I've done one yet.
We haven't gotten a ton of those since like day one, which is weird. I guess they've been
Because
lowering.
that's a random drop, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like it's a random drop, and we
Oh.
normally get it after like bounties. Like we do the bounty, we kill that bounty, and then all of a sudden, bang, it just pops up. You know what I mean? Or you kill the team that was gonna go do the extraction, you steal their contraband essentially. But yeah, it feels very random. We've only done about 4 to 5 total.
And when they have popped for us, they pop like right next to us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
you'll complete
don't
a
have to go looking
contract,
for
and
'em.
then it's like, boom, here it is. And it's really hard to turn that down when the game just sort of gives it to you right there.
We did run over one team that was trying to put the contract into the helicopter. That
Yeah,
one
I
game.
mean, it feels like the division. It feels like the division and outside in that
Dark
whatever
zone.
their PV, the dark zone is, right, where it's like you're clearly marked, right? Like people are going to see that helicopter coming in, they see the smoke, and if you're semi around that, it's like, all right, these guys are going to be fishing a barrel here, and you just kind of wait for it. Especially because they put that on, like, I think the 2 that we've done for sure were in the soccer field of downtown, right, where it's just like, okay, this is wide open, run from the tents into the soccer field,
Yeah.
and hope they don't get shot to death here, you know.
One of the ones I did when I was playing was on the roof of one of the tallest buildings, and I thought that was kind of cheap because if no one's up there and you have the helicopter already, it's going to be really easy to do.
I wonder now if, since we have a lot of contracts to do, will they raise prices on the buy station? Because now it seems pretty easy to buy anything. Like the loadout doesn't seem too hard to get anymore.
That's
Especially doing
true, early game.
quads. Yeah. So I wonder if they got to raise the price for loadouts.
Please don't do that. Please don't do
I
that
hope
to me. I
not.
want my loadout right away. Please don't raise the price.
Yeah,
Gotta get that ghost.
deals on that.
Yeah, we've been coming in with a fun strategy too of like, I've really been enjoying the quick bounty, get the bounty, and then essentially we already have enough money for the loadout, and we're buying a loadout within like the first 3 to 5 minutes of gameplay. And I think that's the catch of like what you brought up of like, man, that war. What's the big crown one again? What did we just bring up?
Most wanted.
The most wanted feels so long because it is 3 to 3.5 minutes of like, okay, now you have to protect yourself instead of like the quick, fast gameplay that we're so used to in all these battle royales where it's grab a gun and just start shooting at people. It feels like that 3 minutes just slowly ticks by when it's more of, hey, let's go hide and not die here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
With the loadout and everything, Kevin, you brought up the point of the buy station prices. What season was it? In the middle of last season that they raised the loadout?
They raised the loadout price twice. I think it was 8,000 at one point, or like 6,000. Now it's 10K, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was like 6,000, and then 8,000.
8,000, yeah.
Yeah, and then 10,000, and then I don't know. Next time, 20,000. Because
Hope not.
man, I don't know. Do they want this?
Everybody would need $5,000. Would average probably everybody would need at least $5,000. Then
Yeah.
what do you get? What do you get from a most wanted? If you do a most wanted right away,
The most I've seen is like 4,000 something. Oh, it's almost 5,000.
No, you get 3 for the first one, 3,000, then
Okay.
5,600 for the second one, because we've done it so much. And you also, mind you, those numbers will change as many contracts as you do in between, right? Like
Get the
if we
boost.
stop and do a recon, if we do a bounty,
Yeah.
all of that's going to be boosted up. So those numbers will shoot up. I think the catch is, though, is, you know, coming off of Takeout talking about the loadout here and prices, we need to talk about the new guns that are in the Warzone itself, right? Our starting weapons. I have been yelling from the rooftop for these past 4 days are absolutely trash. I hate the new weapon scheme out there in the Warzone. From shotguns have a heavy emphasis. It feels like there's a lot of single round to burst marksmanship rifles. We're getting some in between SMGs where you get the Bison or you get the MP7, and it just, some of them feel like they're going, some of them don't. And then on the assault rifle side, if you're finally going to get a fully kitted assault rifle, you're either going to get essentially the purist, which they're calling the short stuff now, or you're going to get this Hell Devil, whatever the heck this is, which has 30 bullets in a clip and is the fastest rate of fire I've ever seen in a weapon, where you just rip 30 bullets off and you either destroy someone or you're struggling to reload quick enough because they're going to do it back to you. I am hating the guns currently on the map, and I'm looking like Bone Jangles. I need the loadout now because I cannot successfully fight anymore with any of these guns. Where last season I felt like you gave me the short, you gave me the purist, you gave me the MP7, you gave me a couple of basic assault rifles and SMGs where I felt like I could take a fight early game. Now it's like I can't fight anymore. I feel weak.
Well, you know, Mike, I'll help you with that. You know, just get good with the guns. That's all.
Exactly.
Get good, dude.
Yeah,
That's all
I think,
Get good.
What does everybody think of the guns, though?
I think a big part of it for me is they took the Uzi out, and like last season, the Uzi was sort of that weapon that I would pick up, and I was starting to feel really confident with it in the early game. Just the overall feel of that gun, and them taking that out and replacing it with the Bison for me sucks. But they did put the M13 and the MP7 on the map, and for me, those are both fine. But the shotguns are awful. Like every time I picked up a shotgun and tried to get into an early game fight, I hate it and I lose. It feels like those things are shooting Nerf bullets. And then last season they had a lot of these LMGs, like these purple gold LMGs. Seems like all those are gone. And so yeah, I think it's a minor step back for me personally.
Yeah, I finally set up 2 loadouts just in time because I used to just pick up weapons off the ground anyway. When we would get our loadout, I would mainly get it for Ghost and Cold-Blooded, and then I'd usually use the weapons off the ground. I'm not doing that anymore. Thank God I set up an M4 class.
Yeah.
Maddock, what do you think? What do you think about the guns, Maddock? I mean, you and Kevin clearly are our best shooters, right? Like, so
yeah.
You know where me and Boney stand. Washburn's in the middle.
Yeah,
Tagato will ask him, but like, you know, what do you feel like, Maddock? Do you really honestly think that these are legit weapons to start off and hot drop into?
I think it depends on the level of gun you're talking about. I think a green MP7 and a green M13, I'd rather have either of those than some of the blue level guns. Those guns are also just really good in general, so I think that kind of helps. And then I try to avoid LMGs just because the reload time, and then I try to avoid the shotguns because the green shotgun, the VLK Rogue, is the worst gun in the game. With no attachments or anything, you can't kill people with that thing.
It's because it's slug too, so it's a slug
yeah.
bullet, which throws me off as well.
So I would just say the assault rifles are all right, but I mean, you don't really have a good M16, M4 class anymore because they made it that burst one. There is still a kilo with the 100-round mag on it, and that's probably your best bet for like gold weapon level, I would say.
Kevin, what you got as well?
Let me tell you, Mike. These
Any
guns,
weapons are gold weapon to
amazing.
Kevin.
Amazing.
I was gonna say Kevin with
Boom,
this
boom,
long
boom,
wind
dead.
up, getting all
Boom,
pumped up.
boom,
You
boom,
know he's gonna tell me it's like, just get good, Mike.
Get
all these
good,
guns
Mike.
are fine. I look at some Billy over on the side and I just kill him. It
What,
doesn't
Billy?
matter.
You there? Boom, dude. He's gone.
Kevin.
Go
Bring
out
the
for him,
insights.
dude. No, but I think they're okay. I always think that all the guns on the ground are okay, anyways. I really don't like them. I just like the loadout to get my loadout guns, anyways. So, but that's why I brought up the thing about raising the loadout price. I don't know what Infinity wants to do with this battle royal. Do they want the ground guns be used more, or do they care about getting the loadout quick? Because like they added more contracts, like I said before, and you can get the loadout quick. So I don't know what kind of gameplay they want from this Warzone type of battle royale. It seems
It
really
will be
odd. Yeah.
It will be interesting when we have our discussion of Apex Legends, right? The recent battle royale we've all been coming off of like Apex Legends has stuck to its morals of like, here's the 10 guns. I know it's different than that. And you just put attachments on.
Mhm.
What would Call of Duty Battle Royale look like where the loadout is non-existent? They pick the 10 guns and you start picking up attachments similar to PUBG and Apex Legends. What would you think of that kind of dichotomy there, the differences there?
I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see like the Apex Legends type of gameplay where you do attach the attachments,
I
and
would
pick
hate
up the
that.
guns from that. I don't know. I kind
I
of
would
like.
hate that too.
I know because we got used to getting our loadouts right away, anyway. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. I don't know what kind of gameplay they want from this.
My
I
thing
think-
is that you don't have to spend any time in your menus. It's not Apex
Mhm.
Legends, it's not PUBG. It's not like, oh, does this attachment go here? Does this attachment go here? Oh, my inventory's filled with a bunch of junk that I don't have or need, or the wrong ammo type.
But
It just
Apex-
auto picks up the ammo, and then you don't have to like choose your silencer and then a foregrip or whatever,
I mean, for Apex, they kind of did well with that either way. Because I feel like I'm not in my menu all the time. Because you pick up the gun and you pick up the attachments, and they don't let you pick up the lower tier attachments for the gun. It's always a higher tier, and you're not able to pick up the lower ones anyway. So
I
don't know.
agree.
I'm always
I
able to
just think-
manage it.
Yeah, the Apex one is definitely easier to manage, but I'm just saying, like, right now the only time you're looking at what your inventory is in like an inventory screen is to drop someone some plates or some ammo, and that's
Yeah.
like, it keeps it moving, in my opinion, a little bit
Yeah,
faster than Apex, where you're like, oh, do I need 12 shield cells or 12 health sticks?
You also have that quick menu in the bottom. You can pull up. And unlike
Mhm.
Apex, you have to like bring up the whole screen with the
Yeah,
backpack.
true.
So
No, I think a part of the reason Apex can afford to have that sort of menu play is because you can move faster in that game. Like you can physically fly across the map. You can be Pathfinder and friggin' grapple hook, 12 stories up. And in this game where you're just a regular soldier and you're running around, I think what they've done by not having you in menus is super key to the overall formula, just keeping you moving and makes the game feel a little bit faster than it actually is.
For sure, especially because the time to kill in Call of Duty is way less than Apex. Like, someone could hit you with one sniper shot and you'd be fine in Apex, and you're not fine in Call of Duty.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the truth. Tagato, what do you think about the guns right now? The current guns out on the Warzone.
I tell you, they're booty. They are
Mm.
straight up booty.
boo,
Okay.
get them out of here.
Straight up booty. So the M13 and the M7, like Maddox said, those are and Washburn said too, they're probably the best guns that you can pick up, but like everything beyond that, the shotguns are crap. Like I can't do that. Like I'm going into house and and there's a squad right next to me in hills. Say we're dropping hills, and I'm in one house, the team's in the other house, and I'm like, okay, I need something to be able to at least fend off these guys for the squad to come from the big house. I get a shotgun. Okay, there's no way that I'm going to fend anybody off with that. I have to sit and camp and hide and wait for them to come up to the top of the house or whatever in order to even try to get any type of damage with the gun. So like, I just think it makes me wonder if somehow Infinity Ward was like, oh, look at no one is using shotguns in game, period. And so now that ARs are in the gulag, let's put all the shotguns out on the field and make them use it there. Like,
because we all love shotgun gulags.
I know, right? Like I know you did, Kevin. But the guns right now, I think out of all that you can get from the box, like the short stuff probably is my favorite one that you can get. And then beyond that, like I'm not usually game. And I love how fast we get the loadouts now, so I can get my own gun. I can get the Gra, I can get whatever. And
I love it so much.
And then do our thing. But like it makes early game a lot harder for me. It makes like beginning of the game a lot harder for me because the weapons that are on the ground are not as good. So that's my opinion.
I like that. I like to also envision Activision as like they have this big board meeting and they put a bunch of balls inside the lottery machine and it's just got a different gun on each one. And they're like, all right, we need 5 LMGs. And like they put all the LMGs in. And he's like, all right, this one's in. And then he grabs another one and they just start listing off these crazy guns, you know, because that would make it fun because that's what I feel like, right? It's like, who came up with these guns right now? We just had so much fun in season 3. This felt so random, these guns that they selected to put in. But, you know, Maddock usually brings the good insights of like why they're doing that. And I'm always impressed listening to him of like what might be the thought process behind this. Because I'm like, hey, Gato over here, right? Just give me the basic assault rifle that goes full auto. Give me the SMG that goes full auto and let me start attacking people. Because now you're giving me a shotgun. You're giving me a 3-round burst. You're giving me a single shot marksman rifle. And now I feel like I got to change up everything. And it goes like counterintuitive to what I felt Call of Duty Battle Royale was, which was drop and let's just start ripping heads right away. And it feels different right now here for 4 days into season 4 for me.
Yeah, before that patch came out and we were dropping hot, like I was getting kind of good with the Odin. Like I could deal with the Odin. But now those new guns, if we're dropping hot and I get one of those, I'm like, oh no.
I think
like the RAM.
I think a big part of
that's
it
kind of like the Odin thing.
Yeah, as you keep saying 4 days into season 4, you know, we're still so early, and I wonder how comfortable anybody is right now. You know what I mean?
But little Tommy and Billy are comfortable because
they're shredding, but
okay?
we're like a lot of times they're shredding when everybody's kidded. You know what I'm saying?
Shredding people.
But yeah, we're still so early, and I really felt like at the back half of season 3 is when I personally started to hit a stride with some of the loot crate weapons.
Yeah, I like that. Let's talk about map changes now. Of course, a lot of our predictions were heavy into map changes, from stadium opening up, maybe the bottom southeast sector changing up, downtown changing up. Bone Jangles over here wanting a boat and the river to flood. We didn't get any of that. So for the map changes that we've truly seen, we have seen a railroad track now come to the southwest side around hills and by hospital, and has also made 2 little tiny tunnels, but there is no train at all moving on this railroad track. Guys, what do you think about the, we'll call, lack of map changes? I know I was personally into the idea of keeping the map the same. You guys kind of sold me on a couple of small changes there. And then B, what do we think about this train station, this train railroad way? What do we see happening here? Will we see an Apex Legends with a moving train? What's going to happen with this?
I mean, do we really need a map change now? Are we just thinking, have you seen every other like Battle Royale changing the maps recently? Does that mean Warzone needs a new map change right away? Because how long did the Apex thing take? I don't think it took that. No,
it took a while.
Did we get a map change in the first one? Or did we get a new map?
Season 3 was when they rolled out the new map, right? For
So-
Apex.
They did either season 2 or 3. They put the giant dinosaurs on the map in Kings Canyon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, that felt like the train tracks to me.
Yeah,
not much
that's
change
true.
in that one. So I don't know if we really need a map change right now. I guess the tunnels are cool too, but I don't know. I'm fine where it is right now.
I'm
Are you
down for a
mad though
loot
about
train.
Stadium? The loot train. Okay, Matt. Well, Maddox, let's focus in on that. So, do you envision a train being placed in this? Do you envision? I mean, would people not jump and be like, "Why are we copying Apex?" Like, do you really want a train going around this? What are you envisioning, Maddox?
I guess it doesn't necessarily need to be like high loot tier train, but like it could be a good way to get around the map. Would be my opinion on that.
Hmm.
I guess.
I can
Okay,
see that. I
okay,
can see
I
that.
like that.
For
Anybody
quick
else into
rotation.
the idea of a train?
Yeah, that would be cool. Some sort of interactive element.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm not sure because you have all the vehicles and stuff for the mobility
That's true.
in Warzone already. So where in Apex, it was you use the train for the mobility reason to get around the map a lot quicker in a lot of ways, and plus they don't have vehicles. So like, I think a train would be cool for the loot, the loot stuff, and yeah, the mobility would be cool because it's adding. But I think about all our other BRs that are out there. Like Call of Duty is so different than most of them because of the boots on the ground feel, because of the vehicles. So I don't know. Everybody's copying each other though, so it's like Fortnite did this whole big thing. So now, okay, let's blow up our map and make a completely new map. Like everybody's kind of playing off each other. Call of Duty is just a new one that they're only in their season 4 since it came out. So I don't know about the train though. I definitely on the fence about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty indifferent to it because honestly, if you guys didn't even tell me there was a new tunnel or whatever, I wouldn't even know.
Me
Wouldn't even
neither.
know.
Yeah, this is news to me.
That's a new tunnel.
I
you
saw
guys.
it on stream and I was so confused. I was watching Mike's stream and I was like, "Wait, has that tunnel always been there?" Because
Yeah.
it was in a spot that you like walk across semi frequently. So
Shout out
that's
to
the
Chris
only reason I
Inca,
noticed.
because Chris Inca told us about it.
Yeah,
We
Chris,
didn't-
that's right.
Yeah.
Tell us
Chris.
about that, right? Yeah, it's one of those. It's like if you didn't know or if you were unaware, you might just skip that for quite some time because like where that bottom tunnel is like in this odd area on the middle south of the map, essentially over by that Italian restaurant where you're not really walking that much, So it's interesting to see that. Surprised about Stadium, right? We talked about Stadium. We wanted Stadium to be something, to do something. It continues just to be a giant dead spot on the map. What do we think, guys? Are we just going to eat that and be okay with it? Do we think eventually they're going to have to do something with Stadium? What's the deal over there?
I mean, they'll eventually have to do something, right? I mean, I guess not. Of course, not this season. Maybe I don't know what's going to happen next season, but we'll have to see what kind of map changes they'll add. Because it's kind of weird. Yeah, the train checks was weird. Why they added that, but
Yeah, it has to mean something, I assume. Otherwise, like, why would you bother?
you think it's because they added new places? Because that's like cold spots. You know how Mike has been wanting to see like heat map and see like where people have been
Oh,
at
sure.
the most. I wonder if they
Yeah.
have that their own and kind of want to add something new and have more people interact over there and do stuff over there too. I don't know.
I don't think a train track draws you as right, Kevin, but like now you have to do something with it, especially because you added it and now all of her eyes are on that.
Mhm.
The issue is there's not much going on over around. I mean, the train track wraps essentially from train station to the bottom south part of the map. So that's wrapping around train station to hospital, down to promenade east and west, over by hills, wrapping around that southwest part of the map. So it's a big plot of land. But the issue is like if nothing's happening there, right? As Maddox said, if like there's no loot train, if there's no movement to catch your eye, you're not just going to be like, oh man, like there's a train track here. I might as well run around it. It's just dead. There's nothing going on with it. So yeah, you have to do something because now all of our eyes are on it, but it's not making people jump there just to go see it, right? Like it's not going to be a hot spot on the map. Be like, yo, did you check out the tunnel with the railroad? Like that shit's crazy, bro. No, nobody's saying
Billy,
that,
check out the tunnel. Man, it's crazy
Exactly.
in
Yo,
there.
Tim,
But-
hey, yo,
Barely.
Timmy, go on over to the train tracks, huh?
But if they pop the top on Stadium, guess what that becomes? Like we talked about last week of like, if you pop the top on Stadium, make it interactive, that hot zone, that's going to become a hot zone. Because right now, I bet you if we looked at a heat map, Stadium is ice cold. It has to be, right? Like nobody in their right mind is dropping Stadium, running around in a circle for the minimal loot boxes that there are to do what? Like to hope that you get 10 grand in that loop circle to go out and buy a loadout. Like that would be the only reason to try to drop Stadium, where it would be ice cold, no contact. Any contract you get is going to pull you away from it. They got to do something with that Stadium. There's nothing going on there.
Yeah,
it's
for
a
me,
waste of
Stadium.
space.
Yeah, Stadium being opened was like the perfect happy medium, where you see these other battle royales and how drastic some of these updates can be, where they're blowing up the whole map and starting fresh. I think Stadium was that happy medium in that you could have opened it up and made what currently is just a big dead circle on the map a place of interest without blowing up the whole map. So for me, it's pretty disappointing that it's still just sitting there, a big dead circle. And my theory is they were going to do something with it for the World Cup, which is obviously, no longer happening, right? So I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do with Stadium? It's got to change, though. Something about it has to change.
Yeah, if they're just a little building up to a train, that's pretty unclimatic, really. If they're just going to add a train.
I like that.
But if they add a train that goes around, and you could take it out with the vehicles, just please, get the C4 in the cars, ram the train.
C4 the train.
Yeah, explosive, get crazy in there. What if they do that, huh?
If you can blow the train off the tracks, is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
That would be
If
pretty cool.
If the train is destructible, you might get me a little bit more with it. But if it's just a train that is taking everything else out and you're just going in a circle, like Mike said, like I don't know if that's a sell for me. But if it's destroyable, man, and you can watch Mike like on his helicopter going, yeah, jump out and then go straight into the train, blow up the train, kill 3 teams that are on it, like come on. Like that would
It'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool if maybe it's like a bullet train and it's going really fast, and the only way to get on it is to jump on it from a vehicle. So Mike will be flying in the helicopter. That'd be pretty cool. That might be kind of cool.
Well, we'll see. Only time will tell. But the only map change we've seen now that we can confirm on this podcast is there has been a railroad circling the bottom western part of the map that we have no idea for what reason. There are now 2 tunnels that are very small tunnels, but that's your map change. Let's talk about another change that we saw. We have a couple more pieces here for season 4, but the official final circle movement is now like it's in the game. It's happening every single time. I was kind of blown away the last time. It is not in the game, Kevin. I'm telling you.
It's been in the game.
It's been in the game.
Someone, you're wrong me out there. Anyone, please?
I'm telling you, Kevin. But now it's official. We'll just say that. It's now official. We've seen it move. We really have struggled to get wins in these past 4 days since the release. What do we think about now the moving circle here for this one?
Does it move every game or every once in a while?
I think it moves most
every
games
single
now.
game now.
I know. I definitely noticed it about 3 games I played today. Final 10 situation, final circle. It does move. Yeah.
Were you playing solos, Bojangles?
No, I was doing random squads.
I saw it in solos first, I think.
Yeah, I saw
personally.
it in solos first, because me and Matt have a good mic, so we see it early. That's how it was like last season, it was been in the game,
Yeah.
I got him.
Well, see, I don't know. I liked the static circle not moving because it gave us a chance to really be like, all right, like, do you have a gas mask? Do you have stim packs? Like, can you wait out in this circle, or are we all scooting in? And I like the battle royale of more, let's scoot in together and let's get closer to end this thing instead of now it's starting to move, because that plays 2 points here, right? It makes you move, which now you're like freaking out, and it makes others move, which I don't know if I'm a big fan of the moving circle as much as just the static, hey, meet me in the middle circle. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on it? I like the static one.
I would.
Oh yeah, go for it, Matt.
Yeah, I would say it. There's these people they like to do challenges where they don't kill anyone for an entire game. And while that is fun and everything, I think the circle, like, it gets rid of that like random chance that someone's just off in the distance out healing you. And out healing battles aren't really that exciting because it used to happen in Apex all the time
Look, man,
too.
it was
If the
pretty exciting
circle
for
was
me,
like,
right? It was pretty exciting
Okay.
for me.
okay,
Oh, Kevin, we
okay,
only did it once, man. Okay,
yeah,
let's not blow this out of proportion. Me, both
Heart
Bengals, and Kevin,
was
we did it
pounding,
one
dude.
time. Okay, one
yeah.
time,
It
bro.
was like boom, 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 pow.
I mean, it's obviously not as big of a problem as Apex has because you could be like on 2 different levels of a building and couldn't fight each other at all, and then it would turn into a heal off, which is like whatever, fine, I
Mhm.
guess. But I think it just removes that aspect of like, oh, people are on different levels of this building and they're never going to fight each other. I think it just makes it so that that happens and makes it a little bit more interesting to me.
I see both sides. I think I get what Maddock is saying for sure. Like, say the circle's in downtown and you're in a skyscraper and it's ending on one of those skyscrapers and forcing both of those teams to move makes things interesting. But I think if, say, you're like over at farm and the circle starts to move, for me, that's just adding a sense of like randomness that doesn't necessarily need to be there. And so maybe that's why, since the update has come out, we've seen it a few times and other times we haven't seen it because they're trying to figure out on certain areas of the map where it does need to move. That's just my 2 cents on that whole thing. I'm not a huge fan of it, but for me, it's just kind of a whatever thing.
Yeah, I think for us, if I remember when we had a victory with it, we were at airport and there was the team that was up on top of the tower at airport and we were down on the ground. So that team had to move towards us because of the circle, and so that like helped us because we were able to just shoot them out of the midair. I mean, I think in that it maybe it is situational, Washburn, because if there's with a circle ending in that area, maybe they put some sort of algorithm or however to say, okay, they're going to have a higher chance of winning if they're up on top of the tower. So now let's have the circle move. If it's that well thought out, which I hope it is, then like I'm a fan of it. But if it's just to put it in for putting it in sake, I'm with Mike. I don't know if I would necessarily want it.
All right, we're back after some technical difficulties. Maddock is going to run me through some of the new events that will be happening here in the Warzone, and he has something just called sniper rifles in the Google Doc. So I have no idea what that means. Maddock, lay it on me.
Oh, they've hinted at, they added the Fennec and the AMAX assault rifle. The next gun that they're adding mid-season is going to be a sniper rifle. It looks like a Barrett 50 cal style. So that's interesting. I don't know if there's going to be anything special about it or whatever, but they've also hinted at 2 new modes for the Battle Royale, which I think are pretty interesting and are going to mix it up a lot. We got BR Realism, and the realism, I don't know, there's not really information out there, but based on what the realism mode is in the regular game, multiplayer game, there's no HUD, no minimap, no loadout information, and no hit markers. And there's also a night variant, so we could get one of those spooky. What are you going to say, Kevin?
My watch. It's going to come in handy, dude. That mini-map watch. Woo!
That mini-map watch.
Oh,
It's all
yeah.
about that mini-map watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, can't wait.
I think it would be an interesting mix-up for sure. We could talk about that a little bit more. And then there's one called Juggernaut Royale. I'm not going to speculate on whatever the heck that means.
I think they said a little bit of it, of like there's going to be a Juggernaut suit somewhere with a minigun. And I think that's what's going to happen here. It's like 2 or 3 teams might be able to grab that thing and run around with it. But I think it does show you on the mini map like a most wanted. But that might be speculation as well. But I thought that's what we read about it, of like that will be the gameplay of like going to one of these bunkers, somebody's suiting up in that thing, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I mean, you know what the Juggernaut is if you've played in multiplayer games, so we know what that's going to look like, the big bullet sponge coming after you, you know?
I thought it was every squad gets a Juggernaut and they have to protect it. But I might be wrong.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Okay. Protect the VIP. Let's talk about the one that's out right now, though, Maddock Jr., which is the 50-50. I know Kevin wanted us to sell it on us. What are your thoughts on that?
We played one earlier, and it was over the bridge area on the very far side of the map, the Twin Cities little area.
Yep.
And it was just a sniper fest. it's not fun.
Yeah,
I would say.
I felt like I was just banging my head against the wall for
At
like
least for
10
that
minutes.
map. At least that map
Mhm.
wasn't fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah, it's
storage
really-
sound could be fun, but I don't know.
I mean, I think in general, right? Like you see them coming out with the 3 different game modes, we'll call this, that they want to add throughout the season with the Juggernaut, with the realism, and now, right, we'll get experience of 50-50. And I think Washburn put it best of like, if you want to play this style gameplay, like just go over to multiplayer and play big team battle, right? Play the giant Warzone that they have over there. It's odd that they added the 50-50 and tried to, I don't know, kind of copy and paste what Fortnite did, but Fortnite was totally different of. That was just a standalone battle royale, and these were game modes they added in to have a little more fun with it. Call of Duty is a full package, right? A solo campaign, a multiplayer suite that has all of these games and more, and then this battle royale. So for me, it was like, why are we adding in a 50-50 mode where it's a poorly chosen piece of the map? Kids are either just going to be sniping or you die instantly. Like, just go over and play that in the multiplayer suite. This was odd to add from my perspective into the Warzone itself.
Yeah, and in addition, like a lot of the ground war maps are on the Warzone map. So I don't know what you're trying to accomplish there either.
Mhm. Yeah, I think when I think about it, they're trying to, because Warzone itself is separate from campaign and from the multiplayer. You have to pay money for the campaign and the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they put that 50-50 in there to try to give some variance to the people that just have the free version, just have that Warzone version. And so, I mean, the only time that I played it, I hopped on, with you guys earlier before we recorded, and then I hopped in when it first came out, just waiting while you guys were doing stuff on stream. And literally it was the same map that I hit both times, and you looked across and my eyes are still blind from the sniper glint. Like, that's just all that I could that's like all that I could see, and all that you could do
That's all
is
we
just
saw.
get sniped over and over and over. It's all I saw, literally just sniper glint in my face the whole entire time. But I think that the reason they did it is because that Warzone piece is free. And so if you didn't buy the full game when it came out and you're just in the Warzone piece, you're getting this different variant of a game mode. Because didn't they put multiplayer madness or something in for the weekend too?
Yeah, multiplayer is free right now.
Yeah, so multiplayer is free this weekend with it too. So those are different ways that they're trying to make it variant just for those Warzone players. All of us bought the game, right? Like, all of us here have the full version of the game.
I have the full version on Xbox. On my PC, I just have Warzone downloaded.
Okay.
I haven't connected my accounts yet.
Okay. Yeah, because for all of us that point makes sense, Mike, but for everybody that is in the free version of Warzone, I don't like it, because if you want multiplayer, just go to multiplayer. But for those people that are in free, I think it kind of makes sense, but I'm not a fan.
I can dig it. It's just, I guess maybe it's the map choice as well, Tagato, of like what circle they choose. It just feels like it feels like it's just totally random. And like that randomness brings into just the weirdest locations and like the bad situation where it's not like I can't level up the new SMG vector gun, the Fennec, because there's 1,000 kids sniping me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel good right now for me. But I am pumped up on the other 2 modes, right? Like Juggernaut and Realism are true battle royale style.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm all about, right? I'm not really in it for the 50 versus 50. We all know that I'm very competitive, and that's why I like these battle royale games of like, I want to win. I don't want to sit there and play a 50v50 game that doesn't really feel like it's that competitive, right? Or I don't have an opportunity to maybe shift the balance in my favor to win it. It feels like that one's not the one. But the other 2, I can't wait to see what happens here and how long they last, what they really feel like. Those will all be questions coming into it.
I'm super excited for Realism.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
For me too.
I loved just the multiplayer on Realism, like team deathmatch and stuff. I love that. Love it.
Then imagine the night Realism. Oh, dude,
That's
Realism
gonna be
at
dope.
night.
The night is going to be crazy.
And
Your
everyone's gonna have
shots
to
going
redo
up.
their loadouts for scopes that you can see.
Dude, it's gonna be crazy. You hear pops being shot off, be like, oh, you gotta stay quiet, stay quiet.
I wonder if they'll take out armor then in Realism. I wonder if they'll.
Oh, that's a good question as well.
Exactly. That's why I used to play Realism on multiplayer modes, because I never felt like I could kill people fast enough. And so that hardcore realism mode, that's why I played that one back on the multiplayer suite, is because I felt like it was like 1 or 2 shots and you can kill that guy and keep moving. Be interesting to see what this looks like in a battle royale sense, right? Is it very quick deaths here and there is no shields and stuff, or like what do they play into that? Or is it just realism, meaning like the HUD and the mini map are gone and, you know, certain other features, but it's still, hey, there's shields. It's still a little bit of time to kill there.
You'll really have to remember to shield up then, Mike, if there's going to be no indicator if you're
Oh
shielded.
yeah, exactly, dude. You know I like to run around. Well, you know what? I think it's Super Animal Royale, and I love that tape mechanic where you can see the shield broken, and as he tapes it, it starts to come back together. I think that's really cool. I love that one. Brought it full circle. Well, I think that is enough of season 4 talk. Is everybody good on that one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to also the scrapyard map in regular multi coming back, which is super dope.
An old Modern Warfare 2 map.
Yeah,
nice.
Bringing them all back, all the greatest hits.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, that will conclude episode 2 of the Squad Pod. Let's take a look at what we're going to be playing next week. Maddock, I think you have landed and you've got your choice of Ring of Elysium. Little ROE is what we'll be playing for our Battle Royale topic of the week. So we're going to go check this game out. It is on Steam. It is free to play as well. So we'll see what our thoughts are and our impressions are for week 3 and episode 3 of the Squad Pod. Of course, I've been your host, Snowbike Mike. Joining me, my favorite squad members, my best friends, Maddock Jr., Bone Jangles, Tagato, Washburn, and Kevin Ace X. Remember, one last time, go download Ring of Elysium. Squad up with us this week. Twitch.tv/Washburn135, Twitch.tv/Maddock Jr., Twitch.tv/Bone Jangles with a Z, Twitch.tv/Kevin Ace X, and of course, Tagato streaming with his lovely fiance, not to be found, but Twitch.tv/Snowbike Mike. You guys can have some fun. Please get involved in the conversations. Leave some comments below. Share this podcast. Let your friends know about us talking video games. Of course, we want to hear from all of you. Get you involved in the Squad Pod. And that will conclude episode 2. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.